what your biggest value was? Or was there a time when you felt so hopeless that you didn't want to do anything for your dream? For me, I faced mine 3 years ago. Before sharing my story, I would like to mention the topic of this contest, Prism. In terms of physics, prism is a transparent glass or a plastic object that can separate white light that passes through it into different colors. In our life, in this contest in particular, prism is something that can affect our outlook on life, something that can change our perspective. The first time to reach my own prism was 3 years ago, when I was cramming for my high school entrance exam, which was one of the toughest and the most stressful exams that all students have to go through before getting into a new environment with new friends and fascinating experiences ahead. At that time, the only thing that hindered me wasn't the difficult homework, wasn't the rigid mock test schedule, but my parents. It wasn't like they put a great deal of pressure on me. It wasn't like they forced me to study day and night, to burn the midnight oil to get flying colors. They didn't really have to worry about that, to be honest. The only reason why I said that they were my biggest obstruction was because they disapproved of me applying for my dream high school. As a young girl who was always eager to explore the outside world, to meet new people, to step out of my comfort zone, I had always dreamed of getting into a top high school in the city, thinking that I might make something of myself studying there, and I knew that I was capable of it. My parents, on the other hand, showed a great deal of concerns about the safety, the distance, tuition fee, anything that could go wrong with a girl who was still wet behind the ears like me. That's why my house seemed to turn into a battlefield almost every single day. However, as a child, I still had to give in and obey my parents. I eventually chose a high school in town, and studied there for the next 3 years. I was annoyed and unsatisfied at first. I felt like my whole world just stopped. My own prism was limited, and nothing seemed worth trying anymore. I was really upset, of course, until one day, I suddenly ran across a TikTok video recommending the book The Alchemist, written by the very well-known Brazilian novelist Paulo Coelho. And on the spur of the moment, I decided to buy it and read it. It just surpassed my expectations. Thanks to the story of shepherd boy Santiago, who travels from his home in Andalusia to the Egyptian pyramids in search of a hidden treasure that he dreamed about, I learned about signals. Something like trying to notice things around me and taking them as signals that the universe sent to my life. It's not like I'm being superstitious or something like that, but the book does strike a chord. And more interestingly, after reading The Alchemist, I also ran across one of Paulo Coelho's quotes saying, "If you're brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello." The message came to me just in time. It made me realize how many signals I had ignored and taken for granted. My teachers, my friends, the activities at school, and so on. And at that time, I knew that it's time to move on. Because if I just let myself be trapped in negative thoughts and the fact that I couldn't study at my dream school, my life would just lead to nowhere. Since then, I started to find more and more hidden beauty in the most normal moments I had at my high school. When my teachers assigned me with important tasks, I knew that I was trusted. When I and my friends had fun together, taking part in clubs, studying together, I knew that I was blending in. And when I took part in different contests held in the region, I knew that there were always opportunities for me to evaluate and improve myself. And what used to be my limit set me free, helped me find out my new aspects, my ability. I did have a memorable and rewarding time in my high school. All those things have shaped my personality, made me how I am today. And I have to admit that although I didn't study at a top high school, I still achieved certain accomplishments, and got into my dream university, as I'm here in ULIS. And I have a strong belief that if I keep trying and studying hard, life will reward me with a promising future. Just like a prism, my experience revealed hidden beauty in the ordinary and showed me how much a change of a perspective can reshape a life. I realized that even when we don't get the environment we desire, we still have the power to create meaning, to grow, and to succeed. What matters most is not where we are, but how we choose to see it. My prism taught me that sadness and fear are only temporary. Growth is forever. I believe that each of us all has a prism waiting to be found. If we don't give up searching, it will change our outlook, our mindset, and even our whole life. That's how I learned to appreciate the beauty of the ordinary. And that's how I am. And that's what made me better. So trust the process. Thank you.